Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, a candidate running to replace House Speaker Paul Ryan in Wisconsin's 1st Congressional District is apologizing for a drunk driving arrest that happened 20 years ago. And a Chinese wind turbine company faces a hefty fine this morning after stealing trade secrets, forcing a Middleton technology office to shut down. Your news starts right now.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is July 7th. I'm Josh Spreiter with meteorologist Chris Reese. Thanks so much for joining us. And really a spectacular Saturday. I just get outside, right?
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. Lots of sunshine out there today. Dew points also on the low side of things. It feels great. If I could give awards out to Mother Nature, I'd give her an award for this weekend. Absolutely fantastic. A sky full of sunshine there. I mean, we have no cloud cover, no rain or storms to worry about across the upper Midwest in any way, shape, or form. 64 degrees the temperature for us here in Madison right now. Everyone out of the 40s and 50s. We are now all in the 60s as we see things. Actually, I lied. Camp Douglas still at 55. They're always one of the cooler spots. But we're all going to be warming up by 11:30. We should all be in the 70s at that point. 74 for us here in Madison. 79 your high temperature today, and some folks will see temperatures in the lower 80s for those highs. Dew points remaining in the 40s and 50s pretty much all day long, which means it is going to stay feeling comfortable and looking absolutely amazing all day long as well. Speaking of amazing, if this were a work week, traffic continues to move on smoothly on the Beltline, so that is good news. No major issues to report this morning. A few slowdowns coming downtown as you approach the Capitol Square. The farmers market's going on, so that is to be expected. But other than that, across Dane County as a whole, Josh, it looks good on the roads and it looks good in the sky.
What a heck of a way to start off a Saturday.
Oh yes, absolutely. This is going to linger into Sunday as well.
All right, Chris, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
We begin this morning with an update to a fire at a trucking company in Monroe last night. Right now, Fire Chief Dan Smits estimates the damage could be in excess of $1 million. The fire was reported just before 6 p.m. at a trucking company on County Highway F. That's just east of Wisconsin Highway 69. In total, about 20 fire departments responded. It took 6 hours to put out the flames, and officials say luckily there were no injuries. Investigators will be back on that scene this morning to investigate the cause. New this morning, a Chinese wind turbine manufacturer has to pay up after a federal judge fined them for stealing trade secrets from the Middleton office of a U.S. energy technology company. Sonova Wind Group has to pay $1.5 million fine, the maximum allowed by law, and continue restitution payments to American Superconductor. That totals almost $60 million. The Massachusetts-based company argued Sonova's theft caused its $1 billion drop in market value in 2011, forcing them to lay off 700 employees and close its Middleton office. 8:02 right now, a Middleton man is behind bars this morning after allegedly firing a weapon out of a moving vehicle and eluding authorities. Madison police say a caller reported a man firing some kind of a weapon at the intersection of Wisconsin Avenue and East Gorham Street. This happened Thursday around 8 p.m. Witnesses thought it may have been fireworks. Officials said other drivers on the road had to swerve out of the way, but no one was injured. Police say the incident happened a day after 20-year-old Andrew Stoltz was threatening people with a flare gun on the 4th of July. Officers located Stoltz's car early Friday morning, followed him from Regent Street onto East Campus Mall, and eventually arrested him after he ran off near the UW campus. He's facing multiple charges, including disorderly conduct while armed and recklessly endangering safety. We're learning new information about the crash involving a pedestrian Thursday night along the Beltline. The woman who was hit is said to be in stable condition this morning. All westbound lanes of the Beltline were closed for about a half hour. Police say the 23-year-old woman had exited a vehicle near Southtown Drive and Royal Avenue. That's when she ran down the eastbound on-ramp to Highway 12, tried running across traffic, and was hit by a white van driven by a 68-year-old Madison woman. The investigation into that incident continues. Right now, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan is endorsing State Senator Leah Vukmir. She's vying for the right to challenge Senator Tammy Baldwin's bid for a second term. The Speaker attended a rally in Pewaukee last night with Senator Vukmir. Speaker Ryan called her a longtime friend, a conservative ally, and the right person to take on Tammy Baldwin this fall.
We know Leah Vukmir. Leah Vukmir is a doer. Leah Vukmir is the exact kind of person we want representing us in Wisconsin in the United States Senate.
There are 5 Republicans in the running, but analysts say Delafield management consultant and Marine Corps veteran Kevin Nicholson is Vukmir's most formidable opponent. The GOP primary is on August 14th. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is coming to western Wisconsin for a campaign rally with Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. Baldwin announced the former presidential candidate will appear with her at a rally in Eau Claire next Saturday, July 14th. New this morning, a candidate for House Speaker Paul Ryan's seat in the state's 1st congressional district is apologizing after a CNN report on his arrest record. Randy Bryce issued an apology on his website Friday, calling his 1998 Michigan drunk driving arrest dumb and inexcusable. He said he was immature and made a horrible, thoughtless decision. CNN reports he has been arrested 9 times. Bryce is an iron worker who has built a national following and fundraising base campaigning for Speaker Ryan's seat. He faces Janesville teacher Kathy Myers in the August 14th primary. The winner moves on to the November election to face one of 4 Republicans trying to replace Speaker Ryan. Tomorrow, Bryce and Myers will be in Lake Geneva for a debate that begins at 7 p.m. at Badger High School. 8:05 this morning, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was in North Korea this morning to talk with Kim Jong-un's top officials about plans to dismantle nuclear and missile programs there. This comes after U.S. intelligence reports cast doubt on the dictator's intention to give up the country's nuclear weapons. President Trump is shrugging off those reports. The visit marks Mike Pompeo's 3rd trip to Pyongyang and the 1st since President Trump and Kim Jong-un held a summit in Singapore last month.
He signed a wonderful paper saying they're going to denuclearize their whole thing. It's going to all happen.
The commitments Pompeo was looking for: North Korea would have to agree to declare all of its nuclear sites, allow inspectors into the country, and not demand the U.S. also give up its nuclear weapons. The Pentagon has already pulled back on large-scale training exercises. It's not yet clear what other incentives and concessions President Trump will offer Kim. The president is in New Jersey this weekend. He's now defending an Ohio representative after mocking the Me Too movement and targeting Senator Elizabeth Warren at a Montana rally on Thursday. Congressman Jim Jordan is facing accusations that he ignored years of sexual abuse by a team doctor when he was assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State University. On board Air Force One, President Trump was quick to defend Jordan, telling reporters he believes him 100% after the former assistant coach denied the allegations. The president is also dismissing the accusers, simply saying, "I don't believe them at all." Meanwhile, the Trump administration's plan to reunite families at the U.S.-Mexico border is still unclear. In a court hearing Friday, the Trump administration argued it may not be able to fully comply with a federal judge's order to reunite nearly 3,000 children separated from their parents by the end of the month. An even faster approaching deadline by Tuesday. The Trump administration is under orders to get about 100 children under the age of 5 back to their parents. A Department of Justice lawyer argues the government is stuck between the court's strict deadlines and legal requirements that children in government custody be released only into safe environments. Developing this morning, teams in Thailand are working on 2 different plans to rescue a soccer team trapped in a cave. Right now, time is running out amid concerns about lack of oxygen and more flooding. CBS News correspondent Chris Martinez has the latest.
This video shows the tough conditions dive teams are dealing with as they work to rescue a soccer team trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand. They're preparing 2 different missions, getting the 12 children and their coach to the cave entrance, or going in from above, drilling down as many as 600 meters. The forecast calls for several days of rain, which means rising floodwater that could prompt a rescue attempt.
Maybe we try because we afraid of the weather and the oxygen in the cave.
The lack of oxygen inside has already claimed 1 victim, a former Thai Navy SEAL diver who died after passing out underwater. This was Sergeant Major Suman Kunan before he boarded a plane to help in the rescue effort. He said, "May good luck be on our side to bring the boys back home." But bringing them home has become increasingly complicated. Teams are using pumps to lower the water level, and they're teaching the group how to dive. But most don't even know how to swim, and this would not be an easy journey. It takes divers 5 hours to reach the team. The 25-year-old coach gave a note to rescuers, which was made public. It offered apologies to the parents of the boys.
Billionaire Elon Musk is also helping out in the rescue. He says he's sending engineers from SpaceX and specialists in tunnels to Thailand. 8:09 is your time, and you're going to want to find time to get outside today. It's another gorgeous one across southern Wisconsin. Here's a live look over the Capitol this morning. Maybe you're heading out to the farmers market. We've got clear skies, abundant sunshine, and more nice temps on the way. Chris will have more in his full forecast straight ahead. And after that, there are several shows and movies you should find time for this weekend. Will's in next with your 3 things to watch. That's all just ahead right here on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning to you. We are tracking another beautiful day across south central Wisconsin. Lots of sunshine out here right now. Dew points are low, and it feels absolutely amazing as you step outside. Here's a live look over at the Edgewater right now. Clear skies downtown. Hard to even find cloud cover out there. Temperature-wise, we're at 64 degrees, a dew point at 50. Yeah, that's dry air for this time of the year. We're not the only ones in the 60s. We're pretty much all in the low 60s at this hour, and we'll continue to warm through the 70s, especially as we get you towards lunchtime. Now, temperatures are about 4 degrees cooler than we were yesterday at this time, so usually that second day after the cold front is one of the cooler days. Dew points also lower, so it feels a a bit less humid today than it did this time yesterday. Most dew points are in the upper 40s and low 50s, and that's where they're going to be hanging out over the next several hours. And there's no wind to worry about as well. That dome of high pressure really kind of right on top of us. But as we go through the day, we'll see these winds beginning to take more on a southerly turn as this dome of high pressure works its way over to the east just a little bit. Now, as these winds turn out of the south as we get you into Sunday, our mild temperatures become more so warm temperatures, and eventually some humidity does sneak back into the picture as well. But a cold front moving in from the north will allow things to feel a little bit better, especially for the middle of the week. Temperatures going through today will rise to highs right around 79 degrees. They're staying in the 70s for the most part before cooling down into the low and mid 50s again overnight. Now for tomorrow, we're going to warm through the 70s and see temperatures topping out in the low and middle 80s for those highs. Warmer back to the north and west. That's the warm air pulled up ahead of that cold front that'll slip in here on Monday night into Tuesday, knocking our temperatures down just a bit. This morning, 55 to 74 degrees. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see a high right around 79. It's going to be pleasant, folks. Get outside if you do have that opportunity. It'll be hard to find any clouds in the sky. 87 on Monday, but notice we cool down Tuesday and Wednesday with temperatures at 84 and 85. It'll be a bit less humid on those days, but still more humid than we are this weekend. Thursday and Friday, temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90. That's when another cold front comes through, bringing rain chances. They're light rain chances, but nonetheless, rain chances Friday and into Saturday.
You're making me jealous standing outside there, Chris. It looks so nice out.
I'll tell you what, it feels absolutely amazing, but you won't be jealous of me in about 6 months.
Very true. Let's not even think about that.
Yep, let's enjoy this that we have out here now.
All right, Chris, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Well, out for rental this weekend, a group of parents is making sure their kids' prom night doesn't get too crazy. Plus, there's a new Netflix comedy series you can binge watch and a classic film you might want to check out. Our film critic Will Loper has your 3 things you need to watch.
I'm ready. You look beautiful.
I used to hold that girl in the palm of my hand.
Kayla's becoming a woman. You're gonna have to deal with that.
New on home video this week is Blockers.
Tonight is the first night of our adult lives. I want to go to prom and lose my virginity.
Julie left her laptop open.
You guys are snipping on our kids?
All emojis have a secret meaning.
Maybe they're just saying, hey, you're okay with me. You're okay with me.
I mean, maybe.
What?
Our girls are not thinking things through. I'm gonna stop them.
I'm in.
John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz play parents who want to prevent their daughters from having too much fun on prom night.
They're getting away. WWVDD.
What would Vin Diesel do?
Hey, Fast and the Furious is completely unrealistic. It's not a documentary. I get that.
Blockers is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Grab your caffeine and go for a cruise for the newest season of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee on Netflix now.
Would rather be a brain in a jar talking.
Their bodies are friends. You're like a toy person.
Jerry Seinfeld interviews comedians including Ellen DeGeneres, Dana Carvey, and Zach Galifianakis.
Whoa, that car just blew up.
What? Let's do it.
Whatever you're saying to me.
Your father was a drunk, your mother drove off a cliff. I don't care.
Just go and laugh.
All 12 episodes of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee are available to stream on Netflix now.
And I'll tell you what, that's why I developed this show.
I was in a coma for 10 days.
But not the last 10 days.
Got a name, boy? Virgil Tibbs. Virgil. Well, I don't think we're gonna have any trouble, are we, Virgil? No trouble at all.
And all this hot weather brings to mind one of the greatest films ever made, In the Heat of the Night.
In the meanwhile, you just killed yourself a white man, just about the most important white man we got around here, and picked yourself up $200. I earned that money 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. Colored can't earn that kind of money, boy. Hell, that's more than I make in a month. Now, where did you earn it? Philadelphia. Mississippi. Pennsylvania. Not just what you do up there in little old Pennsylvania, earn that kind of money. I'm a police officer.
Sidney Poitier stars as a detective helping Rod Steiger to solve a murder case in the South where he faces racism and bigotry.
Well, when I examined the deceased, it was obvious that the fatal blow was struck from an angle of 17 degrees from the right, which makes it almost certain the person who did it is right-handed.
So what?
Old Harv's left-handed, Chief. Everybody in town knows that.
Yeah, that's what we figured out, Chief. Harvey's a lefty, uh-huh. Well, you're pretty sure of yourself, ain't you, Virgil? Virgil, that's a funny name for a boy that comes from Philadelphia. What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
In the Heat of the Night is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Virgil?
You take care. You hear?
And those are the 3 things you need to watch. This is Will.
We'll see an Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend. Paul Rudd is back as the superhero that can change sizes super fast. That film was predicted to earn $70 to $80 million during its opening weekend, which would be way above the 2015 originals debut of $57 million. Will have his review Monday on Live at 4. 8:20 right now, still to come. Chris has your updated forecast you're sure to love. And the UW wrestling team is mourning loss of one of their own this morning. How the community is remembering him when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns.
We are waking up to a day of abundant sunshine outside. Absolutely gorgeous conditions if you are stepping out. It's also going to feel very good. The temperature right now 64 degrees, dew points in the upper 40s and low 50s pretty much across all of Wisconsin as a whole today. And we're going to stay that way with the sunshine all day long. Temperatures around 72 by 10 o'clock, 76 by lunchtime. We'll top out right around 79 for those highs this afternoon. Dew point wise, we'll keep things in the low 50s all day long and into the first half of your Sunday. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Your time right now is 8:24. With heavy hearts, the UW wrestling team is mourning the loss of one of their own this weekend. A vigil held on campus is giving the community a chance to remember and grieve 21-year-old Eli Stickley. Madeline O'Neill spoke with those who knew Stickley well and shares their story.
I can tell you for sure the team will never be the same.
You may think of wrestling as a solitary sport.
He was a great wrestler.
But that's not how it was for Eli Stickley.
He was always there for everyone, always wanted people to hang out together and create a family because he knew that's what we needed.
Stickley, an Ohio native from a wrestling family, racked up plenty of personal accomplishments since joining UW's wrestling team in 2015, including becoming an academic All-American wrestler and an NCAA qualifier.
I had all the faith and belief in the world that this kid was going to be a national champion for the University of Wisconsin.
But those close to him best remember his contributions to the team.
He was really friendly to everybody.
Teammate and close friend Xander Wick says during their freshman year, Stickley brought a somewhat divided wrestling team together.
I have to say I think he was the glue in the family.
If you had a daughter, this was the guy that you'd want her to marry. He was absolutely a perfect guy.
It fell to wrestling coach Chris Bono.
I'm still in shock.
To let his team know that Stickley would no longer be joining them on the mat.
At first, I didn't want to believe it. I think I cried for probably 3 hours. I was just so heartbroken.
I asked him, you know, is there anybody in particular on the team that he was extremely close to that we make sure we take care of? One of our athletes said, you know, Coach, Eli never had an issue with one guy on this team.
Dead after a car crash in Illinois, Stickley leaves behind a team that he helped build into something more.
He wanted to make sure I knew that we were there as brothers and not just as teammates. It wasn't business, it was family.
An outpouring of support on social media and a vigil held Friday evening on campus show that even in death, Stickley's signature move to bring people together lives on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This guy's touched a lot of people.
Stickley had a passenger in his car during the crash. That's according to the Rock Island Dispatch Argus in Illinois. The condition of the passenger has not been identified and his condition is still unknown. 8:26 right now. There's much more ahead here on News 3 This Morning Saturday. Up next, we'll have a look at what's making headlines right now. And after another arrest for car thefts in Madison, police are warning you to be on the lookout. The news is back right after this.
You
Right now, the remaining 4 Beloit School Board members will discuss how to fill 3 vacant seats today after voting to remove the president. And Madison police once again reminding people to lock their car doors after arresting a teen for stealing from unlocked vehicles on the north side.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
And a very good morning to you and welcome to News 3 This Morning. Saturday is July 7th, 8:30 right now. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will join us with this forecast in just a couple of minutes, but first, new this morning, police are again reminding you to lock your vehicles after a teen was cited for stealing from cars in a north side neighborhood. Madison police say they arrested 17-year-old Jeremiah Ollie early Friday morning. This after a homeowner on Heath Avenue saw him checking vehicle doors there. That's right off of Packers Avenue. When officers located the teen, officials say he had more than $70 worth of coins in his pockets and backpack. He also had charging cords, a credit card, and the car key from the woman who called 911. Police say Ollie was cited and released. This incident comes as auto thefts in Madison are at an all-time high, roughly 200 so far this year. In June alone, 38 cars were stolen. Get this, 36 of them had keys inside. Madison police say the crimes are often committed by juveniles. Their fear is that these joyrides will eventually cause a serious accident. Police are working with community leaders to remind everyone to lock their car doors, garages, and homes.
I think people just are comfortable in their neighborhood, and they should be able to be comfortable in their neighborhood, right? However, we have an increased amount of theft going on, especially involving, vehicles, and so we just need to be more conscious of what we're doing and what we're not doing.
Madison police are using social media to remind you to lock your car doors. You can show how you're doing your part to keep the community safe by using the hashtag #NightlyLockup. Right now, a wrongful death lawsuit will continue after a judge denies the defendant's claim that they're bankrupt. 23-year-old Emily Zhu was killed in June 2015 after she was hit by a car while riding her bicycle across a trail on Raymond Road. An investigation from Madison police concluded that Zhu did not have the right-of-way when she was biking, but her parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the driver. The judge said Friday that the driver and his wife filed the bankruptcy lawsuit to avoid paying the debt they could owe Emily Zhu's parents if they win the wrongful death lawsuit. A Madison man will spend the next 2 years in prison for being in possession of one of the guns stolen from a Cross Plains gun shop last year. 25-year-old Keith Harris pleaded guilty to possessing and concealing a stolen gun in April. You may remember the robbery. It happened last October. 3 men smashed a stolen car through the locked storefront at PT Firearms. 14 firearms were stolen. So far, police have arrested 1 person who admitted to his involvement. And now Chris is going to join us with the first alert forecast, and really a splendid Saturday out there, Chris.
That's right, Josh. It's been an absolutely gorgeous morning so far. If you have not had the opportunity to go outside, make sure that you do so. Here's a live look at Platteville, where they had a gorgeous sunrise earlier today. Now getting in on a bit of cloud cover for them, but that should be held at bay as we do have a dome of high pressure in control of our weather. 64 the temperature for us here in Madison right now. Lone Rock at 61 and Viroqua at 64 at this hour. Everyone in the 60s. We're going to watch our temperatures rise through the 70s into this afternoon, likely seeing highs right around 79 degrees. And then into the early afternoon, we'll still see our temperatures cool down 73 as we get you towards the 8 o'clock hour. Now, dew points, oddly enough, are even lower than they were yesterday morning. So it still feels a little drier and less humid this morning than we did, say, 24 hours ago. We're going to be keeping these dew points pretty much in the 50s all morning long, all afternoon long, and into the first half of your Sunday. So things will look good all around. And speaking of looking good, the Beltline still remains in great shape and first alert traffic headed downtown. There are some slowdowns as you approach the Capitol Square, but I think this main slowdown is in association with the traffic, or the construction rather, going on around West Washington. But as you head to the Beltline this morning from just about any suburb or main road, it's going to take you about your normal time traffic flowing at posted speeds. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. The Beloit School Board will hold a special meeting today to determine who will fill 3 empty seats. This comes after 4 board members held a special meeting Tuesday night to discuss conduct of the board president. According to a current board member, unfriendly email exchanges between the president and interim superintendent sparked the special meeting. During that meeting, they voted to remove Lori Endress from her seat as president And shortly after that decision, the vice president and treasurer submitted resignations. The school board is holding a special meeting today to elect those new members. It started just a short time ago at 8:30 and will run until 4 p.m. at the Board of Education office, room 106. 8:35 is your time. Happening tomorrow, there's an opportunity for people in Sauk County to learn more about the Democratic contenders for governor. 8 candidates will be sharing why they are running, fielding questions, and helping voters cast an informed vote during the primary election on August 14th. The Reedsburg Area Concerned Citizens is hosting that forum. After concern about a large number of Democrats looking to challenge Governor Walker, the field is beginning to narrow with 8 major candidates vying for the spot. Matt Flynn, Andy Gronick, Mike McCabe, Josh Pade, Kelda Roys, Paul Soglin, Kathleen Vinehout, and Dana Walks have confirmed they'll be there for tomorrow's forum. Tony Evers and Malin Mitchell have also been invited to attend. That's at the Reedsburg Area High School Cal Center from 2 to 4 p.m. The deadline to report campaign finances to the Ethics Commission is coming up on July 16th. And this morning, we're learning the Democrat challenging Attorney General Brad Schimmel plans to report he's financially in the running against the incumbent. Josh Call plans to report raising about $575,000 over the first 6 months of 2018. He says he has about $680,000 on hand. That's as of June 30th. A spokesperson for Schimmel says he'll release his numbers for the first half of the year next week. According to Schimmel's latest finance reports, he raised $570,000 in 2017 and finished the year with $530,000 on hand. Right now, Marquette University says it will comply with an order from the Wisconsin Supreme Court to reinstate a conservative professor who was fired in connection to a blog post that criticized a student instructor. The court sided with former Professor John McAdams yesterday, saying the school breached a contract with him that guaranteed academic freedom. In a statement, the university says the case was never about free speech, but rather a professor who used a personal blog to mock a student teacher. The post criticized the student teacher he believed shut down discussion about opposition to gay marriage. That student teacher received a flood of hateful messages and threats because of that post. 8:37 is your time. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we have you covered. We'll take a look at some of the events happening around town in your Weekend 608. That's coming up when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
It continues to be a beautiful day out there with lots of sunshine. Temperatures are very comfortable as well in the mid-60s, rather. Dew points are in the 50s. We're going to watch our temperatures warm through the 70s this afternoon. We'll see highs right around 79 degrees come 4 o'clock or so, and then staying through the 70s all the way through the dinner time hours over the next 7 days. Of course, we're going to watch our temperatures heat right back up. So we'll want to make sure that we get outside and enjoy that weekend that we have today. And I'll show days 8, 9, and 10 here in just a few minutes.
I love it. All right, well, it is the weekend in the 608.
That's right, and here's a look at what's going on around town.
The National Women's Music Festival is in town. The theme of this year's festival is We Persist, a phrase that women around the world have really taken to heart over the last year. It started Thursday and runs through tomorrow at the Marriott Madison West. It's open to all genders and cultural backgrounds to attend. Besides music, there will be workshops, a marketplace, theater and film presentations, spirituality, and a writing series, and of course, much more.
That's right. This weekend also presents a great opportunity to drive. Do yourself a favor and plant yourself in a lawn chair in front of the Rotary Park Gazebo in Stoughton. It's the Catfish River Music Festival put on by Stoughton Opera House with back-to-back live music performances featuring a diverse lineup, many of them folk and bluegrass. And this is perfect. The perfect background music for a summer Wisconsin festival. It continues this afternoon at 4, running through tomorrow as well.
It's a first time for this one, the Need for Speed. The inaugural Festival of Speed celebrates being active with several races, including a 5K, run, walk, and a leisurely 25-mile bike ride for participants who want to take in the views of the South Metro. The day doesn't end at the finish line, though. Enjoy live music, a kids zone, bounce house, and a balloon artist. It started just a short time ago at the Agora Complex in Fitchburg.
And as always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. Now, of course, we're not in Kansas anymore, but thanks to the 1939 classic film, we all know the story of The Wizard of Oz.
Of course, Dorothy the Gang and Toto, too, have taken over the stage at the Palace Theater in the Dells this summer. Our Michael Bruno goes backstage to check out the Broadway musical version of The Wizard of Oz.
Did you just hear what I just heard?
That noise don't come from an ordinary bird.
It may be just a cricket or a critter in the trees.
It's giving me the jitters and the joints around my knees.
I think I see a shadow and it's fuzzy and it's furry.
I haven't got a brain, but I think I ought to worry. I haven't got a heart, but I feel a palpitation.
Is Monica the Forest? I don't like this situation.
Are you gonna stand around and let him fill us full of horror?
Well, I'd like to roar him down. But I think I lost my roar.
The stage version is quite different from the movie, only because you get the chance to be truly in the room with someone. Don't we all wish that we could have a conversation with Judy or Ray? And instead, you get this magical moment when you're on stage, where as an actor, I can feel the energy of the audience along with me. And so even though we're telling the story that's going to remind everybody of the wonderful nostalgia that comes along with the movie The Wizard of Oz, we all get to go on the journey together. The bees and the breeze and the bats and the trees have a terrible, horrible buzz. But the bees and the breeze and the bats and the trees couldn't do what the jitterbug does.
What's it like being in The Wizard of Oz, but being the person that all the kids are terrified of?
Oh, it's the most fun. It is the best part of the whole show. I think because it's the part that kids are most terrified of, you really get to play with it, and you really get to morph into this type of creature, and it's fun to play with their imagination.
And how difficult it is to do this, because there's a lot of singing and dancing, and you're in a lot of makeup and a lot of costume in there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hot. It's really, really hot. I keep a lot of Powerade, a lot of water backstage, because sometimes when I come off, I'm just panting and sweating. But when you get out there, you get this adrenaline rush when you're in front of the audience and the crowds, and when you hear the laughter and the applause, and people love the lion. And so it really just boosts me up, and it helps me to give a better performance. And sometimes I just forget how tired I am.
I think for an actor, what I think is the most difficult thing is that you want to be authentic and original, but with the character, like you said, that's so iconic, you do have to bring in what the original actor brought to it. You have to at least, like, give that character a high five when you're doing this. And I think the hardest part for me was the voice. So I don't speak very much like the original Scarecrow did. I do similarly, but I tend to sit a bit lower, and I don't have, like, that nice wistful bit that he had.
Keep away from the jitterbug. The jitterbug.
The Wizard of Oz is at the Palace Theater in the Dells now through August 26th. For more information, you can go to dellspalace.com.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Oh, yes.
Well, straight ahead, we're going to have your full first alert forecast. I think many are going to love, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
if you're looking to shed a few pounds to get that bikini-ready body, we're looking at a new diet trend for people who still want to eat their favorite foods. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday. And as we go to break, here's a look at Who's 3 today.
Look who's
And if you have not stepped outside yet today, it absolutely feels phenomenal out here. Clear blue skies and a whole lot of sunshine. That's going to be the theme, rather, as we go through the rest of today. Here's a live look at the Edgewater right now. You see the crystal blue skies out there, and very few bugs actually even showing up on camera. 64 degrees, the temperature right now. Dew points are right around 50, which means it's going to feel a little bit more so like fall as opposed to July. 60s, the temperature all across the board in south central Wisconsin this morning. We're all going to rise into the 70s later on. But get this, temperatures are actually a bit cooler than they were yesterday morning. Dew points also a little bit lower. than they were at this time yesterday, sitting in the 40s and the 50s. And we're going to see those dew points pretty much hanging out there all day long. Winds are also calm, so there's not this major breeze going on. But as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see more of a southerly wind beginning to develop. That's as this dome of high pressure works its way further to the south and east. So into Sunday, we'll have more of a southerly wind flow, and that is going to be a warming wind flow, and eventually we'll get more humidity back into the picture as well. But by Monday, we will have a cold front sliding in from the north, and that will mean some cooler temperatures for the middle of next week. But as we go through the next 12 hours, we'll see temperatures right around 79 degrees for your highs. And then once we cool down from our high this afternoon, we'll be in the mid to upper 50s for tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, things are going to get a lot warmer. Temperatures will be in the low and mid 80s for those highs, a bit more humid as well with that southerly wind that we'll have in play. 55 to 74 for your temperatures this morning. Lots of sunshine. Will be comfortably cool as well by the afternoon. Expect those highs to be right around 79 degrees. Will continue to be sunny and very pleasant as well. 87 by your Monday. That's when we'll see temperatures that are a bit more humid, but they will cool down. Temperatures warmer, conditions a bit more humid. Will cool down Tuesday and into Wednesday with highs in the middle 80s before heating right back up Thursday and Friday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms arriving into the weekend. Josh.
Not much to complain about this weekend.
Not a whole lot to complain about at all. Even the middle of the week will be a little bit less humid than Monday before that heat comes back by next weekend.
All right, Chris, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us. Adam Milkowski posted this on Facebook. Just a stunning view of the sunrise there. Thanks so much for sharing. So what does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. On the Health Watch this morning, doctors at Yale University say efforts to combat opioid addiction need to focus more on gender. Those doctors point out many substance abuse interventions are developed around men, even though women have a greater sensitivity to pain and are more likely to begin misusing opioids through medical treatments. Right now, pharmaceutical company Novartis is recalling certain pills and blister card packages because they don't meet U.S. standards for child-resistant packaging. That affects 12 different medications, including Zofran, used to prevent nausea after chemotherapy, and another used to treat Alzheimer's disease. If you have medication from Novartis in a blister card package, put it out of reach of children and call the company's customer service number. Another day, another set of tips and tricks to keep your weight under control. This one might be of interest to you if you aren't interested in counting your calories. It's called intermittent fasting. It involves cycling between periods of eating and abstaining from food. One common type is time-restricted feeding, where a person eats all of their calories within a 3 to 12-hour window and fasts the rest of the day. More research shows it may promote weight loss and overall health. Coming up later today, we're talking with a local winery giving back to veterans. Plus, the details on Wollersheim's winery's exclusive whiskey brewed from red, white, and blue corn and how it's benefiting those who have served our country. That's all tonight on News 3 at 6. But first, we're back with more News 3 This Morning next.
Finally this morning, there's a pretty spunky grandma out of Virginia celebrating her 84th birthday in quite a style.
It's not your typical cake and ice cream, that's for sure. Ann Robertson jumped out of a plane with her daughter and 4 grandchildren to celebrate the big milestone. She says it's been part of her bucket list for a few years now. She's already walked the Great Wall of China, played with elephants in Thailand, and swam with dolphins in Antigua. Robertson only had a few more things on her bucket list, but says there'll be a piece of cake compared to this.
What am I doing with my life?
Oh, you're getting beat up by an 84-year-old grandma.
No, I'm gonna have to, oh man, I'll take that for a little bit of inspiration for what to do later. In fact, this is a good afternoon to get outside and do just about anything. We're gonna see temperatures rising to about 79 degrees for those highs and a whole lot of sunshine to go with it as well. We'll top out right around 79 today and then cool down to about 56 tomorrow morning.
Ooh, I love it. All right, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning starting at 6:30.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.